Hello, my name is Hannah, and let's talk Les Miserables. So this is a bit of a chaotic start to this week. Today is Monday, the last day of February, and obviously with everything happening in the world, I kind of ended last week on a more somber note, not really talking about Les Mis and stuff. Where this week I'm going to try to be more cheerful and talk about the book more and pretty much just talk about the Ukraine situation if there's a big update, because right now Putin's getting wrecked, so fuck him. But I've been following the situation and have been reading countless articles and reports and everything, so I kind of need a break from that myself. But because of everything that's been happening, I actually have not been reading Les Miserables for the past few days. Since I read all those chapters before, though, I'm not behind or anything from where I'm supposed to be, but still it does not feel good. So I'm going to try to read a few chapters today and check in the evening, but until then, enjoy some of these clips from Saturday where we played D&D, but then we also played Beat Saber to kind of try and forget about the world for a few hours.
You want to find one that has it easy.
Yeah, good.
Be careful.
Pepper! Yeah, Strider is right by you.
Gotta have some sort of rhythm a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm back. It is just about 8:30 and it really feels like it's 11 with how freaking tired I am. So I'm in pajamas and everything now. I just read 2 chapters of Les Miserables and wow, stuff is happening, and I really didn't expect that death to be like that in here. So I'm going to read a few passages that I think are really interesting and kind of show the characters a bit more. So one thing I thought was interesting is Victor Hugo actually says he is Jean Valjean now. We are not going to use his other name anymore. It says Jean Valjean, and in parentheses it's we shall henceforth call him by no other name. So I just thought that was a little interesting bits. And then this is talking about Javert right here. It says, to him, Jean Valjean was in some sort a mystical obsession, a shadowy opponent with whom he had wrestled for 5 years before at last overthrowing him. This arrest was not a beginning, but an end. And I love that they literally use the word obsession here, because obviously in the musical and the movie, that's what it is. That's what it seems like. He's crazy obsessed about him. And I'm just glad that that isn't watered down or anything in the book. It's literally, if anything, it's more intensified because it really talks about how Javert's facial features and stuff are in this moment, and they're talking about how he just looks like he's mad, mad as in crazy, not mad. And then we have the Death of Fantine, which is so brutal in here. Pretty much the whole confrontation between Javert and Jean Valjean happens right in front of Fantine. I don't know what I really expected, but I'm gonna read it here. Fantine sat upright, supporting herself on her rigid arms. Her eyes traveled from Valjean to Javert and then to the nun. She seemed about to speak, but only a whimper issued from her lips while her teeth chattered. She reached out her arms in a gesture of anguish, and with open hands groped like a person in the act of drowning. And suddenly she fell back against the pillow. Her head struck the head of the bed and then sank limply against her shoulder, the mouth open, the eyes wide and sightless. She was dead. It's holy shit, Javert basically shocked her to death. That is insane. I didn't realize that's actually what happens. I don't know, and it just seems so brutal because she kind of just was living in this fantasy she had created, and then she finds out the truth, and it's just like, boom, she dead. So that was a bit of a shocking moment for me there. But I just ended that chapter, so that's where I'm at right now. So, oh my gosh. I guess the next major thing will be Jean Valjean escaping and going to get Cosette. So I'm really looking forward to that arc and seeing how the Thénardiers react to him. And Ori.
Oh, 40. Get the 40. Okay. Oh my gosh. Ding ding. Ding ding. Just keep snoring. Oh, stretch.
It is now Wednesday, and I didn't feel like sitting, so I'm just kind of standing here. I actually have this set up on the cat tree, and I have actually just read the first chapter of book 2. Wait, no. Part 2, book 1, chapter 1. So not only is this divided up into books, this is divided into parts. And each time we're at a new part, the book number starts over. So it's just like part 2, book 1, chapter 1. Okay. And part 2 is called Cosette. So finally we are headed there. This is page, let's see what page this is. 279. So it takes 279 pages just to get to Cosette. So I'm actually kind of surprised by that. I always kind of picture Cosette as being like one of the first things that happens in Les Miserables. But I mean, look at how big this book is. Like, we still got a lot to go. So like, that doesn't really mean a lot in the long run. But book 1 is entitled Waterloo, and chapter 1 is called Scene on the Road from Nivelles. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm also a little confused by this first chapter because it literally says, on a fine May morning last year, that is to say in the year 1861, a traveler, the author of this tale, walked from Nivelles in the direction of La Houppe. So the author of this tale is Victor Hugo. So is that who the traveler is supposed to be? Or is it supposed to be Jean Valjean, since this part would be from his point of view? Like, I'm really not sure. And all of the little, like, towns and stuff it's talking to, I don't recognize, but the very last sentence in this chapter is, he was on the battlefield of Waterloo, and obviously I've heard of that. So I think I'm gonna have to do a little bit of Googling to kind of see where those places are, and if they kind of matter, then I'll show you on here as well. But it hasn't said a name or anything, it's just the traveler. So, and I kind of glanced over the next chapter and it just kind of says the traveler as well. So I'm kind of interested to see how long that's going to happen. Does this have anything to do with Jean Valjean, or like what is happening right now? Alright, so I just sat down and looked up the first town name in here, the Nivelles or Nivier. I'm not exactly sure how to say it. Also, I have laundry going in the background, so you might hear that. But I just googled a town name, and the first thing that came up is that it's a city in Belgium. So yeah, I have no idea what's happening right now. Like, this should not be Jean Valjean, because he, at the end of the chapter in the first part, he was heading to Paris. So I'm not sure what's going on right now, but I'm gonna activate the screen grab thing real quick on here. Okay, I have the screen recording going, so we are on the town of Nivier, however you say it, and scrolling out. Okay, wow, alright. So Belgium, as you can see, is just the northeast of France, but Jean Valjean would have started somewhere over here. So I truly don't know what is going on at the moment, but this just kind of lets you know where things are. This is where we're starting book 2, and this is Paris down here, where the green marker is. Okay, and the second place. Oh yeah, I don't mind this tab. That's what's for dinner tonight. And we have La Houppe, something like that, which is a municipality in Belgium. So that is... Oh, okay. So that's even further east in Belgium. Okay, so we start there and then get closer to Brussels. Okay, so it looks like we're traveling northeast in Belgium for some reason. And then we have... Oh god. Is that it? Yes. Another municipality in Belgium. Okay, so that's there. I'm gonna move into these a bit. Okay, so it's almost like we're moving in a circle now. I don't really understand. We start down here, and then go up here, but then come back down. So what is this person doing? Okay, so I'm not really sure this traveler knows where they're going. Since they're kind of backtracking and stuff, it doesn't really make sense. I'm gonna look up the last place now, which is actually the title of chapter 2 as well. Farm. Oh, okay. Okay, so apparently it's a farm compound, it says right there from Wikipedia. And this says it's a history museum in the previous place. Okay. So that is where we currently are at, and I guess that's where, this was the previous place right here. So this is where we're at, and since this is the title of the second chapter, I'm assuming like this is where that's going to take place. But I'm not sure why we're in Belgium now. I don't remember anything of that in any of the other adaptations, so I really don't know what to expect in the beginning of this part. I'm a little confused, I guess, and with the way Victor Hugo has been writing some things, it might take a while for us to actually find out who the traveler is, and if it is supposed to be Victor Hugo, I don't know. We'll see, I guess. I just finished my chapter for the day, and I am an idiot. So I am really bad at keeping track of the years in this book. When I talked last, I mentioned how it was the year 1861, and that is not even when like Jean Valjean is alive. So I like completely made a mistake there, because everything that's happening like in the main story is like 1817, 1818, like stuff like that. Where this is pretty much when like Victor Hugo is writing the book. So Victor Hugo has to be the traveler, and he even kind of references like the reader, like everyone like interacting with this book is the traveler. But pretty much these last few chapters have just been about the Battle of Waterloo and what the town that it happened in looks like when he is there. So it's not exactly the most interesting. It's pretty much like a history lesson, and I guess it's one of the parts where he just like overly describes everything. But he even talks about, because it was Napoleon attacking, and it talks about how it had rained, and if it hadn't rained, Napoleon would have easily won, but the rain delayed him, and it allowed like the Prussians to get there and everyone in the opposition to get there in time to defeat him. And he says some things that sound kind of similar to a situation that's happening today. So he's kind of talking about Napoleon invading and stuff, and that's like, how much of the blame for his defeat is to be attributed to Napoleon? Was Napoleon's undeniable physical decline at this stage accompanied by a weakening of his faculties? Had 20 years of warfare worn the blade as well as the scabbard, the soul as well as the body? And then it talks about how, like, has Napoleon just kind of come oblivious to the dangers of trying to go, like, do a war that he can't win? And had Napoleon lost his flair for victory, was he no longer able to foresee the pitfall, to detect the trap, to discern the crumbling edge of the abyss? Had he lost his instinct for averting disaster? He who had traveled all the roads to triumph, pointing the way with a lordly finger from his fiery chariot, was he now so locked in obsession as to lead his tumultuous following of legions over the precipice? Had he, at the age of 46, gone finally mad? So I find this kind of interesting that he's being described this way, because I also feel like this could be used to describe Putin and what he's unfortunately doing to Ukraine right now. Because there's been all these years of Putin in power and winning his battles kind of thing, and just kind of doing whatever the fuck he wants, really. And now the entire world is saying how he's gone too far, which is obviously correct and everything, but just how it's going so different from what he anticipated and believed, and how literally everyone else is like, what the fuck are you doing? I don't know, I just see the similarities here. Granted, Victor Hugo does say right after that entire paragraph, he says, "We do not believe this," but still, like, just reading that now is like, oh. But pretty much, like, that kind of stuff is all he's talking about. But Victor Hugo also says this: "It goes without saying that we do not claim to be writing a history of Waterloo. A critical moment in our tale is linked with the battle, but its history is not our concern." Well, then why are you writing about the history of Waterloo? And I kind of glanced at the next chapter, and it's just the same thing. So I'm like, okay, can you kind of tell us how the story is connected to Waterloo if you say you're not going to tell us the history, but instead you're just going to telling us a history? So that's where I'm at in here right now. But today I'm actually going to the library. I finished my last library book yesterday, and I'm actually going to be meeting a friend there. She's wanting to sign up as a member at the library. So I'm gonna hang out a bit there today. I don't know why I'm still holding this up. But then tonight, my husband and I are actually going to go to the movies and see Uncharted. That's been out for like 3 weeks now. It's one of those movies where it's like, sure, I'll go see it, but we weren't like hyped over it or anything to go see like the premiere or anything. I really just want to see it because Tom Holland's in it, and obviously like it's a video game adaptation. So don't exactly have high hopes, but I mean, you always kind of hope that adaptations are going to be interesting. And then tomorrow we're actually going to meet up with a group of friends to have breakfast at a place called Bob's Bagel Place, I think it's called, or Bob's Bagel Bakery. It's something like that, but it's a place that I've been told about before and I've been interested in trying out. So I have to get myself out of bed earlier than I normally would so we can have breakfast there. And then we're probably going to check out a few flea markets that I guess are close to the area there. This next like day and a half is going to be quite busy, so not sure if I'll be able to film until after all of that is done kind of thing. But yesterday was actually kind of like a rest day for me and anticipation of everything that's happening this weekend. Because Sunday is also the first Sunday of the month, which means like some museums and stuff are, like you can go there for free. So it's like, do I want to do something like that? But it's like, I don't know. It all depends on how my body feels. But pretty much since we're going to be doing a lot of stuff, I kind of have to like prepare myself for that, I guess. Like I can't be doing a ton of chores or something like right before going out, or else I'm going to die. But that's it for now, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow. Look at you, stupid head. I don't know what his deal is with this towel. Oh my gosh, his hair. There's already a chunk of hair on it.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
The heck? What are you doing, baby? Oh my goodness. It is now Sunday, and I was not able to film the end of this yesterday because I've had a busy weekend and, well, past 2 days, whatever. And I was not feeling well. Today is even worse. Pretty much my entire body is killing me. I pretty much had to fight back tears all day. And at one point when we were outside, I wasn't really able to walk very well. And that was not a fun experience. So I'm pretty much just gonna try to end this week's vlog and go crash in bed or something like that. If I feel up to it, probably won't be till tomorrow, to be honest, but I'll start next week's vlog and talk about all the lamest stuff there, but I just didn't want to end this suddenly, so until next time, bonne journée and au revoir, and hopefully I feel better.